I spent a late early morning with a bunch of hookers, and you won't believe what happened. What's going on, YouTubers, Jackknife, Finnegan subscribers, and or Finnegan? How you guys doing? If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you could hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. If you guys got comments, drop them down below. And always hit that post notification bell so you do not miss an update, upload, or a live stream, you guys. With that being said, let's get to the story. You're thinking, Jack, you hung out with a bunch of hookers? What? You're married. Well, bro, this was back in the day. This was when I was 20 years old and I was in the cities by myself. I just got done out of the studio. I went to college. I was going to school for music production, and I still have my diploma. I do still do music production here and there, but I went to school for music production, and after school, it was about 2 in the morning, so I went to this place. It's a diner. It's called Mickey's Diner. It's in a lot of movies. It's in a lot of commercials. It's a famous, popular place to eat in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. It's called Mickey's Diner. It's like a little cart, like a little rail cart, and you go in there. It's very small, very, local crowd, everything, real amazing food, awesome time. I loved it. But anyway, I go in there. I'm by myself. I'm chilling. I get a spot. I sit down. So I sit right here, and all of a sudden I see these 3 girls, and they all come and they sit right behind me. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know what they did. I don't know. I didn't judge them. I don't know what the hell they were about. I had no idea, So I'm just sitting there. I'm eating my food. I'm chilling, reading some paper, just reading up on a bunch of magazines to get myself, smart for school, get myself ready for music and this and so forth. But all of a sudden, this one woman's like, hey, I had a John tonight. And I'm sitting there like, now I'm intrigued because back when I was like 15 and 16, I watched a lot of prostitution shows, like Showtime, HBO, I'm a Hooker, prostitution on the streets of such and such. I know what you're thinking, 15, 16, Jack, you're watching hooker shows? Yeah, bro, I was interested. I wanted to know all about the game, if you know what I'm saying. The game. But yeah, I apologize, you guys. These are the lights. This is a nighttime video. I always shoot during the day, but I thought, hey, I would come on here and I want to tell you guys a story, and why not? You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys like it. If you do like this nighttime with this shitty lighting, let me know. I'd appreciate it. I couldn't find any way to fix it. Maybe sit here and do this, but I'm not doing that. So you just got to deal with my ugly mug and these sweet-ass headlights, if you know what I'm saying. No multi-million-dollar production here, people. This is as real as it gets. But anyway, this woman's like, I had a John tonight. And she's like, and then the other one's like, girl, I had a couple too. You ain't gonna believe what they made me do. So now I'm intrigued. I'm like, what? What'd they do? You know what I mean? I'm all excited. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I'm sitting there like milking my food, literally. Like I'm like cutting it slow. I'm like biting like little pieces and just chewing on it. I'm not gonna lie, that was the best meal I ever ate because I actually sat down and enjoyed my meal while listening to these hookers tell me, or not tell me, but talk about their stories. And my God, the shit these women went through that night was insane. And imagine that was one night. Does this happen every night? Like, what the hell kind of world is this? I'm intrigued. What's going on? So the girl's like, okay, so what'd your John want you to do? And she's like, girl, you're not going to believe this. And she's like, what? He paid me $70. Now, this is, what, 16 years ago or 15 years ago. $70 to remove each of his teeth with a pliers. And now I'm like sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck? No way. No way. Like, what? No. And like, I wanted to turn around, but I was so shy. I was so nervous. I was so scared. If it was me today and they told me this, or they were talking about this, I would have turned around. I would have sat in that goddamn seat and I would have turned on the camera and we would have sat and hung out with some hookers literally that night. Married or not, I would have got all their stories and it would have been amazing. But anyway, this lady's like, yeah, $70 a tooth with the pliers. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? She was like, no. And the other girl's like, well, shit, I would have ripped all of his goddamn teeth out. And I'm sitting there like, damn, that woman's a savage. But anyway, this girl's like, I couldn't do it. She goes, I got the plier around one of his teeth. I yanked on it. I pulled one of them out. I got $70. I went to the next one. I couldn't do it. The blood was going. This dude's over here like laughing, having a great time. And I'm over here pulling his teeth out with the pliers with nothing. No Novocaine, no nothing. I'm literally ripping this dude's teeth out with the pliers. I couldn't do more than one. So I only made $70. And she's like, well, you didn't even sleep with him? He didn't want me to sleep with him. He wanted me to rip his teeth out. So I'm like, oh, man, this is nuts. Okay, cool. And then this other one's like, girl, you're not going to believe what happened to me. Pulling teeth out, man, I wish I had that. Now I'm thinking, oh, my God, what is more worse than pulling teeth out with the pliers? Nothing can be any worse than this. So I'm sitting there like, I'm like waiting. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm like, well, what the fuck did you do? What'd you do? You know, like I'm freaking out because I almost want to turn around and be like, God damn it, tell us. What'd you do? And I'm thinking, tell us. It's only me at the goddamn table. So what do you mean tell us? Like I'm part of the goddamn crew. But anyway, the lady goes, so what my John made me do, they always call him Johns. So just so you know, if you got, you know, if you want to know hooker terminology, when a hooker gets with a client and it's a female, they call it a John. So they say a John. Just in case you need to know for future reference. Just kidding. Stay away. Don't do nothing you're not supposed to do. I don't encourage it. But God damn it, this is my life. This is what happened. But anyway, so she's like, so what happened was I got in the hotel. He had a nice suite. He had like a two-level suite. It was amazing. And he had a VHS player, a DVD player combo. This is what she tells us. Now, that shows how fucking old I am. A DVD VHS combo? You're old. I know I'm fucking old. But anyway, so she's like, he pulls out this box. Now I'm like, oh, what is this? Like some 8mm type shit? Have you ever seen that movie? Check that movie out. That movie's insane. But anyway, I'm like, oh, what is this all about? Pulls out a box of VHS tapes. And he goes, I want you to lay in bed with me, and I want you to cuddle with me while we watch 4 Disney movies back to back. And I'm thinking, what? Cuddle in bed and watch Disney movies? Like, and he's paying for this? Shit, I'll go over and hang out and watch some goddamn Disney movies. I ain't gonna cuddle with you, but you want me? I'll go hang out and watch some Disney movies with you, bro. I'll go sit in a chair. You go sit wherever the hell you want, and we'll have a good old time watching some weird-ass Disney movies. I don't give a shit. But I'm sitting there thinking, how you get paid for this? And she's like, yeah, he paid me $50 a movie. I couldn't get past 2, she said. And I'm like, what are you we're watching a movie. You're not even doing that. You're watching a movie, laying down with some creep. Like, what the hell, bro? You couldn't get past 2 movies? And then she tells you, like, this is the worst. Like, this woman rather pull out teeth with a pliers than watch Disney movies. What does that tell you about the world that we live in? Or what does that tell you about Disney movies? That you'd rather rip teeth out with a pliers instead of watch a Disney movie? Like, I myself would rather watch Disney movies than have my teeth ripped out with a pliers, because I have had my teeth ripped out with pliers. And that's another story. I've had my teeth ripped out with pliers over here. I got a missing tooth here. You probably can't see it. But that one, I got that yanked out by the pliers. And that was insane, because the guy literally, he wrapped the pliers around my tooth. And he yanked, he even put his foot on my chair. He yanked it, and the casing on my tooth shot across the room, but the root was still there. So he's sitting there shaking it, and he yanked it right out, and he's like, you want to see it? I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. Get that away from me, you weirdo. And then my casing's halfway across the room, and he's like, well, I don't know where that went. And I'm like, oh, this is good. Well, that is great. But anyway, that we got sidetracked. But yeah, so these hookers, man, were insane. One was pulling teeth out with pliers. One was watching Disney movies. The other one was like the older one, the more wise one, not saying nothing, just listening to all these stories. I'm sure she was taking notes and just being wise about everything. You know, she kind of seemed a little bit more like the leader of the pack. So I was just sitting there just watching. And I was like, okay, so now my meal is over with. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. I walk away. And so the good thing is, as I get out of the restaurant, I forgot my jacket. I'm like, great, I gotta go back and get my jacket. And I lost my jacket because I was so intrigued with these women's stories that I didn't give a shit about anything else other than their stories. I really didn't. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I walk back, I get my jacket, and this girl is sitting there with her fingers on the end of on the top of the table, going with their nails, and their nails are like fucking razors. They're like little nails. They look like Freddy Krueger. And she goes, I knew you'd come back. And I'm looking at her like, no. I go, I left my jacket. She goes, yeah, that's what they all say. And I'm like, no, I really left my jacket. So I grabbed my jacket and I put it on. And she looked at me and she goes, I know you got $5. And I'm like, I do got $5. She goes, you want to spend that the right way? Or you want to do something stupid with it? And that's when I realized hookers were not for me. I said, look, ma'am, I am intrigued. I'm flattered, but I'm going to take my $5 and go and rent me a video game. And that's exactly what I did. I went home, I woke up, and I got up the next morning and I rented me a video game. I think it was, like, at the time, I think it was Jet Moto or something for PlayStation. That game pissed me off. If you want to hear a story about that, put that in the comments down below. That's the only game that has ever made me rage in my entire video gaming career. That one game is the only one that made me rage. If you guys want to hear that story, put it down in the comments. I will gladly share that story. If you don't put nothing in the comments about that story. But if you do want to hear the Jet Moto story, put it in the comments, guys, and I will definitely share that story with you, because that was the first and only game I've ever legitimately raged on. That's the first and only I've ever raged on, and till this day, I'm ashamed by it. I am ashamed. I really am. But guys, that is my hooker story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, punch that notification bell so you do not miss an update, upload, or a live stream. And if you got any comments, leave them down below, because I answer every single comment. So with that being said, you guys have a fantastic night. I'll see you guys later tonight. Peace!